All right, Sue Montgomery, of course, former mayor of NDG Cotenache, former journalist as well. We had a chance to speak last week, and Sue's back this afternoon. Hey, Sue.
Hey, Aaron. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Hot.
Okay. That's a good thing because it is hot.
You need a fan, You need an AC, you need a lake. Do you have any of the above?
Yeah, I am on the Ottawa River, and never in all my years coming here have I felt the water so warm. It's really...
Okay, but you're not allowed to complain. Disturbing. You're sitting by a river. There's no complaining.
I know, but right. It's worrisome.
Fine. Okay.
It is worrisome.
Let's talk about a couple of things in the news. We just saw actually a scroll go by watching the TV here, so you know what's going on with the federal government and Meta and Facebook and of course, Google. So today, Pablo Rodriguez, the Heritage Minister, comes out and says, you know what, we're done. We're going to pull our advertising from Facebook. And Natasha and I both looked at each other and went, wow, I'm sure that's really going to hurt Meta. Can't imagine the millions of dollars that the government spends. But now Valerie Plante just came out, Sue, and said the city of Montreal is going to do the same thing. What do you think?
Well, I think, for decades, as you know, the media companies have tried to figure out how they're going to pay for journalism, which is an important part of our democracy. And we need, the other subject we're going to be talking about today, of course, is the sale of the Montreal Children's site. And that was a great piece of journalism by the Gazette. So, we need that kind of work being done. But the question has been for decades, how are we going to pay for it? So I don't see any reason why Facebook and Instagram, or Meta, I guess they're called now, shouldn't pay for this. They shouldn't. Why shouldn't they pay for that kind of content? They make God knows how many billions, and do they even pay Canadian taxes? I don't know. But they should certainly see this as a way of giving back to society, and I think it would be a good move for them to show that, perhaps they aren't democratic, but they could at least look to be democratic and supporting democracy and a free press.
You asked the question why. Because they haven't had to, and we never made them. And so why should they start now if they've been getting away with it for free up until now?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I just think that, we need to do something drastic, and perhaps this is drastic, but imagine not having any news, not having any local news, not knowing, not having any watchdogs over our governments or institutions. I think it's a really scary proposition. So we need to find a way to do it, and if this is the way to do it, I don't see why they wouldn't pay something for it. I think they're just playing hardball right now, and they can come around to it.
It's interesting to see the government play hardball back. A lot of times, or most times, the government would just back off, realizing they're dealing with like a mega company here. But in a way, I think Canadians are probably happy that they are pushing back. So
yeah, I think so too, and I think most Canadians, they don't want to end up with one channel like Fox News.
Right.
They would like, the media landscape has already shrunk drastically, so we don't need any more of that.
I think what I find frustrating about it is, and I'm glad that they're playing tough guy now, but where have they been Facebook's been around since, 2006 or something? We're talking almost 20 years. I feel like they should have been on this way before. It should never have been allowed to get to this point,
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, but, I think a lot of people were just seeing Facebook or social media in general as a great way to advertise and to reach people.
Yeah.
They weren't really thinking the damage that it was going to cause media companies. Even the media, we just gave stuff away for free. We just put it online and didn't charge subscriptions, and the next thing you know, we're not making any money because we didn't have any advertising. So, it's as much the fault, I think, of media companies as it is the government.
They didn't see that train coming, and it was moving pretty fast down the tracks, but these things happen. Yeah. I want to shift over to something we actually talked about yesterday. We had a couple of different people on, Sue, talking about this new study that shows that the Rem de l'Est, if this thing ever gets built, and I think most people think that's just a pipe dream, $36 billion. That's the estimate now, because the new plan is to build this entire thing underground, because, of course, it's too much of an eyesore to have it above ground, and doesn't even connect to downtown. You'd still have to get the green line of the metro to eventually get downtown. I'm curious what you think about this.
Well, I don't understand why all of a sudden the East End is finding it being above ground as an eyesore. Like, first of all, the one going out west and the one going south is above ground.
Yep.
So I fail to see what the difference is. I agree that these huge cement pylons are hideous, but, it's cheaper than digging a tunnel underground. So I really think that they have to go back to the drawing board because that's way, way too much money. As Legault said, he spit out his coffee when he read that. Which, try not to visualize that. But anyway.
Especially with his new haircut, his little sporty haircut.
Uh-huh.
But back to the drawing board is worrisome to me. I mean, we're already looking
Let's spend some more money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just going to go, the dates.
Let's have more studies, blah, blah, blah. But
we're very good at that.
Yeah, we are. We're very, very good at that.
And
Too bad there's not a category for studies by cities around the world because I think Montreal would be at the top of that list.
Yep.
By the way,
consultations.
Consultations, exactly.
That $36 billion, it's never going to be. It's going to be so much more than that. The dates are unrealistic. And so, I agree with you. Something's not adding up. Something's not working here. And yet, if they go back to the drawing board, I think it's only going to get worse.
But wasn't there a plan already to extend the blue line out?
And the green line.
And the blue line ends, though, out there, right? I think this will take it from the part where it ends out in the east end and go all the way to the north end. They're also talking potentially about adding another stop in Laval, going even further north. So who knows? I like Jim Menny's line the best on this one. We brought it up yesterday. He said, we said 36 billion. He goes, coincidentally, that's the same number of years until this thing ever gets built.
So that's true.
There is that. Listen, I want to get to this other story. You mentioned it off the top. Linda Gulai's incredible investigative work, and she's going to join us, right, coming up just after 5:30.
Okay, good.
So we find out from her story today, the City of Montreal apparently never, or the MUHC never, ever went to public tender on this issue. It ended up getting sold in some backroom deal here. Did you read the story?
Yeah. And I just find it outrageous. And what's even worse, I find, is the sidebar she wrote about, well, not worse, but just as outrageous, is the fact that she couldn't get anything to access the information. She just literally got the runaround. Like at the MUHC said to ask the SQI, the provincial government, and then around and around you go until you don't get any information. And I think that's a huge problem in our province, is the lack of transparency. All of this stuff is public. It's public money. It's public land. We have a right to know this stuff, but for some reason in Quebec, it's like talk to the hand. We know what we're doing.
Does this go back beyond? I mean, I know we oftentimes will look at this administration and talk about housing. We talk about Valerie Plante promises that are made that necessarily don't get done. Does this go back even further than that? Because I saw Denis Coderre's name mentioned in the piece today. Yeah,
well, I think that's what happened. But then, then there was this big hoopla over the site that was supposed to include social housing. And somehow that was taken off the table. That was under Valerie Plante. But I think the sale actually, or the rezoning happened under Denis Coderre. And it sounds like it went really, really quickly, like 12 days or something.
Yeah, it's something smells bad here.
For a process that take months and months, right?
No, for a zoning change, you need all kinds of studies, hearings,
of course,
and so on. Sometimes they are a good thing to have studies. But this really stinks to high heaven, really does. And there should be some kind of investigation into it.
I mean, surely there's going to be, but I like that you touched upon the fact that there was supposed to be, social housing, affordable housing in here, and as usual, they just paid the fine, right? And they get away with not doing that. But it's not like this doesn't happen all the time. I feel like the work that goes into having to, dig up these stories and find out the truth, so great that it's being done. But I feel like for every one that we find out about, there's probably 10 others that we don't know about.
Well, and plus it doesn't go anywhere. They read it, there's some outrage, and then we move on to the next story.
Yeah, until someone digs up the story and then puts it all out there, and we sit back and go, I can't believe something like this could actually happen.
Yeah, so what are we going to do about
it? Well, we'll find out
more.
But
if we go back to when the MUHC, the super hospital was built, you'll remember that there was all kinds of fraud happening with Porter.
Arthur Porter,
back in the day.
Yeah.
it doesn't really surprise me that there would be this backroom deal again. What I find shocking is that it can happen with so many people involved.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point.
There's nobody put up their hand and say, wait a second.
Yeah.
Something's not right
yeah,
here.
And it's still happening. You're so right that it's still happening.
And by the way, you mentioned in the story as well, that $25 million that it eventually was sold for, that was supposed to go to the construction of the new MUHC site, right? That was part of the deal, and we don't even know that happened.
No.
So there you go.
It's just... Like, I can just imagine the frustration. Linda, she was an amazing reporter and a veteran and knows her stuff. I can't imagine the frustration she's going through or went through to get this story. Mm-hmm. I can just picture it. But at least they're appealing the decision by the Access to Information, and hopefully they'll get to the bottom of that, because that absolutely has to be public.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't... I can't stand the arrogance here where they just write back and they say, no, it's actually confidential.
Yeah, it's the Selective Access to Information Act.
Again, Linda Goulet joins us just after the 5:30 news.
All right.
Oh,
Sue,
great.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.